Hey everyone, Jacob here from That Time We Woke Up in a Podcast and Had to Explain Manga, our heated adventures overanalyzing manga we find interesting, otherwise known as the OverMangaCast. This week, we're doing part 3 of part 1,
Jacob, you're already messing this up. We're doing part 1 of part 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
It's the third part of the second...
No, it's the third part of us doing it. It's the second part of part 2.
It's part 3, right?
No, we're doing part 1 of part...
Part 1 of part...
Wait, we left the door open!
You fools! This is the third episode we're doing, but it's part 1 of part 2 of JoJo, Battle Tendency! And your next line is, Sam, I thought you were gone this week.
I thought you were gone this week! Nani?
Haha, you see, I'm always one step ahead. I lied to you about my availability, so now I'm here to end the bit.
Fine, we'll let you into JoJo's episode.
I guess, don't ruin it for us.
So this week we read chapters 45 through 70 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Part 1 of part 2, Battle Tendency by Hirohiko Araki. Let's let Sam have what he wants.
And tune into the show. Hello everyone and welcome back to the OverMangaCast. My name is Sam, and as always, here at the top of the show we talk about what our familiarity with the franchise that we read this week is. And I'm finally here so I get to say it! I will admit that when it comes to JoJo, I am in anime only for the most part. I have read some of the manga, even without these three excluding me. And it all started in college when one of our roommates introduced me to JoJo's, and I have been insufferable ever since.
I agree with this assessment.
Even irregardless of JoJo's, he's insufferable.
Hey!
Just saying, were you also initiated into the JoJo's cult in a creepy fashion? Is that just how we initiate people?
I just happened to wander into Aaron's room during a scene with cars, and I'm like, is he playing that woman's leg like an air guitar?
And that's how it's a good opening to JoJo's.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
what am I watching?
I just hung out with girls and drank beer.
That's the wrong way to hang out, apparently.
Apparently.
Oh.
So yes, Matt, how about you?
So I've read all of part 1 of JoJo's. That's also the only part of the anime I've watched. So all of this was a new read for me.
And Jacob.
The only thing that might have changed is I don't remember if when we did our last episode I'd watched part 5 yet, but I love part 5.
Get there in another 3 years.
Oh. Yeah, I've watched all of part 2, the anime version, but I'd not actually read it before.
Alrighty, and Jay.
I suppose I'll start off where we left off on our previous JoJo's revisit. So I ended up watching the anime, watching more of it. I actually ended up watching a little bit further in our reading, but aside from that, same old. Was introduced in college. Never really picked it up until it continued to permeate my social media, and people keep on making references to it, and to the point where it became annoying. And just so that I would be in the loop, I of course had to start consuming, and that is my exposure to JoJo's. And to this day, I still don't know what I am watching. What is this?
It's a very bizarre adventure featuring a guy named JoJo.
Yes.
Oh man. Part 2 was really the part where I was like, okay, I watched part 1 and that was good. I liked it. It was hammy and enjoyable. And then I got to part 2 and I'm like, all right, I am fully in this Looney Tunes BS, this meme lord of a main character. I love this.
Yeah, we've got a pretty stark departure when it comes to protagonists. We previously had the very gentlemanly Jonathan Jostar, and now we've got Joseph Jostar. Well, we're introduced to him in New York, and he fits in surprisingly well.
He is explicitly not a gentleman, but a cad.
Indeed. As he is, he's in New York at a stand to get some Coca-Cola.
I love that there's just branded Coca-Cola in the manga. Why can't this thing get unadulterated adaptations?
Turns out people don't like it if you just use their trademarks without asking.
Yeah. We'll get to the names of the three main villains of this section.
But as Jojo is going to, as he's going to pay for his soft drink, his wallet is stolen by a street rat who sprints away and thinking that he has got away cleanly. Unfortunately for this young man, he has not, as he is captured by some cops.
And then in a very realistic depiction of American police officers.
Yeah. God. He gets brutalized by some racist cops. Just wow.
Yeah.
Who are literal pigs.
Yes. This particular scene was significantly toned down in the anime for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it was. So were a lot of the character designs, because it's almost comical how, like,
grotesque.
A bunch of the characters look overtly monstrous, and they're just normal dudes who happen to be douchebags.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Joseph continues to look exactly like Kenshiro.
What do you mean this was inspired as a parody of Fist of the North Star, among other things? But yeah, no, we very immediately get a good illustration of our new JoJo's character, because he does the nice and empathetic thing of trying to diffuse the situation, because he sees that the person that's about to get the worst end of the stick from anybody is basically a child. So he attempts to, I gave that wallet as a gift. There's no problem here. Let's all just leave each other alone. And when that doesn't work, he immediately resorts to base violence.
What are you talking about, you English weirdo? Come on, just work with me on this. Or do I have to put a booger in your eye?
Yeah, weird thing about boogers in this section. It comes up multiple times for some inexplicable reason.
Yeah. I just really like when the cop goes to pick his nose to get another booger, and Joseph punches him and drives his finger through his nostril. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, the violence has not been toned down at all.
Nope.
Not
It never should be.
The posing has gotten out of this world, as the other cop goes to shoot him, and Joseph, using the power of Coca-Cola and also Hamon,
The true American way, yes.
True American way, breaking a cop's finger with a Coke bottle cap. I just love the extreme, like, nonchalance of him firing the bottle cap with the power of Hamon and then just guzzling the rest of the soda.
And I mean, again, sort of like addressing that the nature of this new protagonist. Like, this is such an excellent introduction, because he guzzles it because, like, at this point he's drinking it out of spite, because he just wanted a bottle of Coke. He didn't want any of this. Like, he just wanted to be left alone, and now he has to deal with all this nonsense. And so he guzzles the Coke out of spite, and then stops to realize, Granny Erina is going to kill me for all of this. And it literally didn't occur to him until that moment.
Yes. And she is a force to be reckoned with, apparently.
Yeah, Granny Erina is not to be trifled with, but we will deal with her disciplining of Jojo later, as simultaneous with these events in New York, there is discoveries happening in the depths of Mexico, as Speedwagon has
this man seems familiar.
The narrator pointing out
that scar, that gentlemanly demeanor.
Oh, man, I get what people say when they say you can skip part one, because, man, the narrator just tells you everything you need to know that happened in part one.
at basically every opportunity, Speedwagon will go, oh, this must be the same curse as that awful event 50 years ago where my best friend Jonathan fought his brother Dio the vampire.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, I've mentioned it in the other parts, but this is very much satirizing the style of narration in at the time comics, which they still do sometimes. So,
mm-hmm.
As a
Well-
callback, because I mean, come on, who doesn't like the exposition kind of shouted at them?
Exactly. Look, for,
Good cheesy fun.
Look, for someone 70 going on 80, Speedwagon's looking good. He's still buff as hell.
Yeah.
Nobody isn't.
The amount of built everyone is will only get more ridiculous as we meet our antagonists.
Absolute units. However, Speedwagon is here in Mexico because there was an archaeological discovery found. They called in Strizo because apparently he has taken over the
Hamon way. Y'all remember Stresso, right?
No, I actually don't.
I remember him because he was the one with the most extra name, we decided.
Yes. After his friend Dyer died, his name no longer made sense as a pun, so he became a villain.
Ah, yes.
I mean, that tracks.
Yep. Really, you have nowhere else to go.
I'm no longer part of a pun on dire straits. I must become a vampire.
Yep. Guess I have to become a villain and a vampire villain on top of that.
I'm not content being extremely hot in my old age. I also want to be immortal and extremely hot.
He wants it all, and damn it, he shall. Gorgeous.
What they find is what appears to be a carving of a person in a stone pillar, and around him are a bunch of stone masks like the ones that Dio used. But it is revealed that that's not a carving. That's a person who's basically fossilized alive into the wall.
I love the way Speedwagon explains it. He has cells, he has warmth, and a pulse. He has amino acids.
How do you know? How do you know that?
You mean you can't just pick up on sight amino acids? What's wrong with you?
If they've been denatured, maybe, but
It's the
No, no,
Hamon.
no.
You can see it right there in all of the rippling muscles that he has for some reason. Because of the sinister amino acids, I mean the stone masks, Strizo decides he's going to betray and kill everybody and take the masks for himself.
I love the ridiculously gory paneling in this, because Strizo kicks Speedwagon in the head and it looks like it splits his entire face off of his skull. Now, we learn later that that is not the case, but wow.
Sad that we lost such a beloved character. I'm not gonna lie. I was reading that, seeing that panel, I'm like, did Speedwagon die at this point and I just forgot about that? I swear he was in later stuff.
It would not be above this manga to say Speedwagon had a secret grandchild that appeared after he died.
Yeah.
You're right. Because that happens.
God damn it.
But yeah, what's actually happening here is Smokey, indebted to Jojo, decides to spend some time with him, and bonus points. He gets a free lunch because the Jostars are rich.
Negative points. They go to a fancy restaurant and he continues to get racist at.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, man, this the fact that this mafia guy just decides to be racist.
Like, look at it. Okay, so the manga, the art in the manga does not portray him in the best light. He's talking all this smack at poor Smokey, and I'm like, do you have a mirror?
Have you looked at your own stank ass mug?
You don't understand. This was 1938. Italians weren't white yet.
Yes, exactly. So that makes this even more confusing.
But yeah, in a lot of ways, this is initially to reinforce the idea of Jojo's character. He's very clearly a good person at heart, but he has a really short temper and never thinks things through, and is an incredibly violent person to his core.
But he does get the okay from Grammy.
He also does close-up street magic on the side, because this isn't so much a fight as more of but your lighter is in your other pocket. What? How do you know?
Yeah, this is where we get
Your next line is...
Yeah, the
I
introduction.
posed for that, by the way.
because Joseph goes to square up with this mafioso who reaches into his coat pocket. And Joseph is like, if you're looking for your brass knuckles, they're in your back pocket. Huh? How did you know? Well, obviously, it's because the blood on your shirt is underneath your jacket, meaning you took your jacket off before beating someone up to come in here, so you couldn't have had the jacket on to put the brass knuckles away.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting because I don't recall the anime doing that. I really like that they actually explain how, like, Jojo does his "your next line is" bit. It's a really cool thing because it establishes that he's not doing this as, like, a bit for the I mean, like, he's doing it for the joke. Like, it's funny, you know, it's part of the satire, but they actually explain that, like, he is just smart enough to figure that out, and it shows how he put the pieces together that really establishes him as a very intelligent, very thinking character. Like, you know, when he gets into a fight, he's analyzing you, and he uses everything he has to his advantage.
You're right, Jake. Joseph is a very smart character who is able to do this like Sherlock Holmes nonsense and come up with these great situations. Also, he has to be a fucking magician because where did he get that hat stand?
You don't want to know, Sam. You don't want to know. It was very uncomfortable.
He summons it between a panel cut.
As the mafioso appears to be punching him rapidly in the face, and Joseph's like, huh? You haven't hit my face at all. You were punching this hat stand. Ah, my hand is full of splinters.
I somehow didn't notice that was happening this entire time as there's a hole through my palm. JoJo's never change.
And if you thought that was too ridiculous, we end the chapter with my favorite plot contrivance. Random person who knows too much for inexplicable reasons.
Why does that mafioso just know the plot is happening?
Oh, excuse me. Did you mention Speedwagon? I think you brought up his name, but you must be the people who know Speedwagon. Did you know his dead body washed up on shore? Well, not him, but people who were with him washed up on shore in Mexico. I had some colleagues down there who told me just the other day. In central Mexico. Yes. We're in New York City. Yes. And you heard this within a day. Yes.
Turns out a Tibetan man did him in.
What?
That's
more questions.
How do you know that? Who witnessed this?
I do also like the fact that Jojo points out, wait, how do you know that? And he doesn't get an answer.
His response is, he clearly is a mafia man. That means he benefits from us knowing that Speedwagon was taken in. I'm like, yes, but that also means he could still lie? No, he wouldn't lie about something that benefits him. What?
That also doesn't explain how he knew, which was the question being asked.
It doesn't matter. Jojo punches him in the stomach and throws him into a wall for doing nothing but telling him his friend was being a cad and being helpful, which proves this Jojo is not a gentleman.
Well, no, he punches him because how dare you say something so upsetting to my Granny Erina? Look how sad you made her.
Yeah, she
I cannot
so
forgive
sad.
you.
That's a good excuse, I guess.
You should
Good
lie.
enough.
You should lie to old women, I guess. Man, I think this is also the part that Jojo is real protective of his granny, but also is trying to hook her up with Speedwagon.
Yes.
Or
Oh my god, thank you picked up on that. It was so
really
weird.
upset at the idea that she might have hooked up with Speedwagon. I'm not 100% sure.
Honestly, given the way that Jonathan works, it could be both.
I want you to be happy, but
I love how Granny does not answer his question about did you hook up with Speedwagon. She just says
she just hits him.
That's an inappropriate question to ask your grandmother.
I mean, it is, but also I want to know.
There's a bit with Speedwagon later, but I think Erida also, the way it's phrased implies, like she mentions, like being faithful to Jojo. It implies that Speedwagon was being faithful to Jojo, reinforcing the ship that Matt pointed out, which, as far as I'm concerned, is canon at this point.
Look, Speedwagon was the entirely platonic third member of this throuple.
Look, Speedwagon just wants the Jostar family to go on, and really,
He was
For
doing
getting-
his part.
for
Doing his
getting-
part.
For getting beaten up for selling drugs, really doing his part. Like,
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's really turned himself around. He never mentioned he's rich now. He's an oil mogul.
Yes.
Yeah. He found an oil field in Texas and became rich.
He just went to Texas, completely penniless, and left rich. This is a thing that happened off panel.
Yes.
Have any of you guys watched The Hillbillies?
Yes. I know what
Yes.
you're referring to.
Yes.
Basically that.
Ugh.
But thankfully, Joseph does not need to wait long for his revenge, because what should happen but Strizo himself, now a vampire, comes to New York to hunt him down, because he cannot allow the Jostar bloodline to continue. They are too powerful in the ways of Hamon.
I had mixed feelings reading this entire thing because there's just so much sexual energy.
That
not
will
wrong.
not slow down at all.
No.
In fact, it will only accelerate.
It gets worse, actually.
Uh,
But
I mean-
my favorite bit is Jojo and Smokey are hanging out in, I think, a convenience store.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's a diner.
Yeah, in a diner. Seeing an ad for push-up bras, like these women are fooling us.
oh, aren't they in a bar?
It might be.
It
That's why
might
there's
be.
mirrors everywhere. Like, they're in a saloon, is the thing.
Yeah, but they're sitting down, like going over this ad for, push-up bras for women, and they're just like, what? It could turn like a double A cup into like a C or a D cup? What is this magic?
I mean, yeah, if it's all padding, I guess.
We need to be careful, Jojo.
They're trying to trick us.
But this strange man is seen out the window, and Jojo walks out like, "Hey, I feel like I've seen you before. It's a cold night, but I can't see your breath. And are those fangs in your mouth, Strizo?" As he pulls out a Tommy gun and empties the clip into him.
Yeah, this is where that meme comes from.
Well, hello to you too.
I accidentally skipped a page and I was very confused.
I love just the page turn. Jojo posed up with the Tommy gun. It's so good.
Well, so that meant he walked out with the Tommy gun behind his back.
Yes. He hit it in the same hammer space dimension as the hat rack.
I believe it.
And the clackers.
We'll get there.
Get the clackers.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. I mean, the paneling is freaking hilarious because it's like extreme close up on Jojo, extreme close up on Strizo, extreme close up on a gun barrel. What? Page turn bullets. That doesn't work.
No, it doesn't, because
It just terrifies a bunch of the other patrons.
yes, the power of vampires is too great. I love how casual Jojo is being too. Smokey's like, you just shot that man. We should hope he's a man, and if he is, then I'll go to jail without question. Jojo, what are you talking about?
Jojo, you really bet on black here. Like,
But yeah, it's a good pet. A bunch of the bullets have holes in them instead of making the holes, and didn't impact the target. And despite being hit by several shots, Strizo gets up.
Yeah, there is some real masterful like body horror art in this part, and it starts right here as Strizo like picks a bullet out of his thigh, like
Yes.
like he's pulling a rock out of a piece of Play-Doh. It's so gross.
And we get some of the most egregious cases of your next line is.
Of Joseph being magical? Yes.
I wonder if there will be a part 3 that will have a plot point in it that will be used to retroactively justify all of the crap he does in this scene, in this scene in particular.
Uh-huh. See, my favorite part is the fact that Strizo names the eye goop lasers as the Space Ripper Stingy Eyes.
Call them that.
I hate that existed in part 1. I hate that it exists now.
Do you like the name?
I think it's equally dumb as it existing, so yes.
The name is appropriate.
But Gasp, shock, horror. It seems that the Space Ripper's stinky eyes have worked, as Joseph has been shot in the head and neck.
A Hamon user's only weakness, their head and neck, otherwise known as everybody's weakness.
Oh no, my only weakness, dying.
But what's this? Jojo stands there, unaffected. And your next line is, how is he alive with those holes in him?
And apparently, Strizo doesn't know what a mirror is. I don't quite know how geometrically any of this works, but okay.
It seems the big city has gotten the best of you. After all, you didn't notice that I went and stood behind you and you have been fighting my reflection in this mirror.
Ow. How did you do that, Jojo? How did you physically do that?
I'm hitting him in the head with the Tommy gun now. This is not the only stupid thing Jojo will do with glass in order to avoid the Space Ripper's stingy eyes. If I had a nickel.
But yeah, we also get the bit with the grenades. That's pretty great.
God, I love the grenades. Well, okay, the grenades are great. I love the grenades. I need to point out the reason why the Hamon doesn't work is because Strizo has a scarf that is made from the dried intestines of 30,000 beetles.
That's dumb.
That's some kill 6 billion demon shit right there.
It really is.
Who made this scarf? What are the logistics of this scarf existing? Because these are a rare species of beetle that are naturally gifted with Hamon. Also, if we're establishing there is a group of beetles that can naturally use Hamon, why don't we harvest these beetles and use them to fight vampires?
We did. That's why we made the scarf.
Yeah, that's how we have the scarf. You know, I mean, one of the things I'm curious about, and I really genuinely don't know, would 30,000 beetle intestines be enough to make that scarf? How big are they?
You know what? Probably not.
I don't even...
30,000 is a lot, but...
It's beetle intestines.
It's not even the whole beetle. You're right. It's dumb. I don't get it. Also, I thought Hamon didn't work on inorganic things.
Well, it is organic. It's just dead.
They're dead.
But it's still organic.
That's not
You
even,
fool.
That's not even that's not even consistent within the internal lore of the thing we read.
No, it really isn't.
It isn't, but it's funny.
Oh God.
Anyway, grenades.
I love how this keeps happening in JoJo's, where you'll get the haha, but I'm immune to your new technique. And then that immediately just gets ignored the next panel, and you just beat them up anyway by being better. Aha, I one-upped your technique. Well, I'll just punch you in the face harder. Well,
I guess that worked.
I've defeated your technique, Jojo. Well, it's a good thing I tied this grenade to your scarf. Ha! I knocked the grenade away. Ha ha! But did you not hear all those other pins pull?
Because I tied that grenade to the pins of all of the other grenades that have been on your back the entire time.
No!
As
he is blown to smithereens.
By the end of part 1, we had gotten up to we'd gotten up to 11 with JoJo's. This is a 12.
I wish I could go back to the time where what I was complaining about was Dio walking up the wall made no sense unless you have foot-thick walls.
I mean, yes, but he's also in a castle, so that's pretty on brand to have.
He was in a mansion.
Yeah. Are you talking
about castles?
Yeah, they are. Basically, in their own right. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. It was dumb. We know the walls weren't that thick, but whatever.
The walls were thick.
Anyway, Strizo is blown to smithereens, but they are now reconstituting, and he's very naked.
For the entire rest of the time he is going to be.
He is very comfortable, and I appreciate it.
You see, Jacob, it would stretch the believability if his vampire powers were allowed to regenerate clothes.
I'm just saying, Jacob, when your clothes get burned off your body or you explode, Your clothes don't usually come back.
They don't usually. No. See, the thing that makes that funny is that joking explanation is entirely the explanation in universe. Because that would be silly.
I'd be more concerned that my scarf that was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in that time's currency was incinerated, but we're gonna move past that.
We're just gonna ignore that happened.
Oh no, Jojo, those grenades weren't enough. How will you ever deal with him now? Well, you see, Smokey, look at his legs. They're all torn up. I will use my legs to defeat him with my plan B.
I was looking at his legs this entire time.
What's plan B, Jojo? Mi grandeo! Smokey!
The Jostar family secret technique of strategic
Running
retreat.
Away.
Except he doesn't get very far because some girl's boyfriend decides to be a hero.
Jojo did machine gun and then blow up a saloon, to be fair.
The background characters definitely do pay lip service to the fact that someone should be calling the police for this terrorist level actions that happened. Actually, no, I take it back. It was just a mass shooting in America. No one gave a shit.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the bystanders, an intrepid young reporter goes in to get a scoop, getting pictures of this crime scene, but Strizo is still alive or undead or whatever.
Yeah, and then we get the bridge scene.
Yes, the bridge scene where
the metaphors ramp up exponentially.
Yeah, as Strizo has taken the reporter girl as a hostage. And Smokey's like, why would he take a hostage that Jojo doesn't even know? You idiot! Why would you take a hostage that I don't even know? See, that's what I said.
Yeah,
well, I have a convoluted theory.
It is a test of character.
If you're the kind of man who would actually be a threat to me, then you would come to try to save this woman. And then I must kill you. However, if you are not the kind of man that I should worry about, you will run away like a little bitch.
He almost literally phrases it that way.
Yes.
Are you a little bitch, Jojo?
Jojo, I thought you were the hero of this manga.
He does seem to be goading Jojo into confronting him, despite the fact that he's like, also, regenerating really sucks, and I probably don't have enough strength to continue the fight.
No, you see, I'm trying to act all nonchalant. I'm trying to call your bluff. You won't actually hurt that girl. I have now ripped out her tooth and thrown it at you. You bastard!
There's all of the satirical elements. There's the goofy nonsense. But, JoJo's is still well written in that, JoJo's character has been very thoroughly established by this point, and despite the comedy beat of the strategic retreat, that was a way of getting Strizo away from civilians so that something like this would hopefully not happen. Jojo was obviously always going to help the innocent bystander. He was feigning not caring to get him to remove what he would then see as useless hostage if the ploy worked.
I do love how the bio for Jojo does lead you to believe that if it hadn't been a woman hostage, he wouldn't have cared.
Our boy is he's not drinking that respect women juice.
It's really not.
Nope.
I think the last panel of chapter 1 of this part is after he introduces himself. He goes, "Wow, American broads sure are cute. Let me look under those skirts, girls. Woohoo!"
I mean, if you want a more extreme example, the one time he's being accused of being like terrorist when he shot up some guy in a bar, a woman is screaming and he's like, "Shut up before I silence you by sticking my tongue in your mouth."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
But here is that other bit with the glass that I was talking about as the Space Ripper Stingy Eyes go to attack Jojo. And he's like, haha, I knew you would attack me in the same spot, so I brought a shot glass that I have filled with Hamon to reverse the attack. Good job, Strizo, you idiot. You shot yourself in the head. Now I will punch you with Hamon.
At this point, he starts flying off of the bridge. There is a particular panel with an angle that is interesting.
What did Araki mean by this?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yes.
The way
Do you want to describe it for our lovely listeners?
You know what? I will, because Joseph goes and grabs Strizo to prevent him from falling into the river, and this causes Strizo, in all of his amazing nakedness, to be positioned in such a way that one of the support struts of the bridge looks like a massive schlong.
So he knows exactly what he's doing, and I approve.
Just the rest of Strizo's everything, really, but like freaking caked up on a Thursday afternoon. But Joseph did not save Strizo out of any thoughts of mercy. Instead, he needs answers. Why? Why did you kill my uncle Speedwagon? You see, I've not actually killed Speedwagon. I threw his body into the river in order to prevent the blood from being absorbed by that terrible Pillar Man.
What?
Wait, what the heck's the Pillar Man? I'm now using Hamon to destroy my own undead body. Goodbye.
No, hold on. You can't do that. It literally makes no sense why you did any of your actions if this was what your goal was. Why?
Your Hamon is already killing me, so I'm taking myself out to keep my pride intact.
Or something.
Thank you for letting me die beautiful as a vampire. Wait, so you came to fight Jojo because you knew he would kill you?
He came to fight Jojo to get rid of Jojo.
Yeah.
I think he just gracefully accepted his loss.
Well, yeah, no,
he
that's
wanted to die beautiful rather than withered up.
the reason he Hamons himself at the end is because he knows he lost, and he, quite frankly, doesn't want to deal with the consequences of all of the, crimes he committed. Jojo is not merciful.
And we need a cliffhanger.
Well,
yeah.
There's also that. I came to set up the plot.
Now I am the dead. Blech.
Yep. But that means that Jojo has to abandon his new friends and Grammy so that he can drive
Journey.
to Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll never see that reporter again.
Nope.
You know what? That's very cool. It's good that our character now has a goal to look forward to and a mission to go on. Hey, let's turn the page in Nazi Germany.
That was jarring.
Yes.
We mentioned that it's the late 1930s.
Oh, the second I saw this was taking place in 1938, I knew what was up.
See, here's the thing. I've seen part 2. I know about Stroheim and the Nazi involvement in this story. I was still caught off guard by the page turn, and then there they are. Third Reich.
I'm just saying, 1938. Notoriously and canonically, the minions were trapped in ice.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think you're right either, but you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That is a plot point in the Minions movies.
Yes. But yes, those Nazis, they sure are weirdos, huh? Anyway, here's a new character in Mexico. Why is he at the secret Nazi research base in Mexico? What?
Yep.
Araki, what is going on?
Well, you see, the Nazis really loved researching occult nonsense.
Yes. So
the stone masks are some occult nonsense.
God damn it. Okay.
Oh, nonsense is a good way of describing them.
Everything about Stroheim.
We also find out your boy is still alive because he was rescued by Nazi science.
Yes. Stroheim goes up to Speedwagon and was like, Speedwagon, the American millionaire. How about you tell us all about the Pillar Man? I'll never tell you the location of the Pillar Man. Too bad you already did, because truth serum.
German medicine science is so good.
German science is the best in the world.
Yeah, I was going to say that didn't get toned down in the anime.
No, it did not.
They had to censor the OP.
Sekaiichi!
Oh, boy. Stroheim sure is a character that exists in this part.
Stroheim is something. I'll say that much.
Oh. But yeah, the Nazis have collected the Pillar Man as well as the stone masks and are doing experiments.
You see, we need to find out about this strange Pillar Man. It seems that he is some sort of supreme being, and he will be a great weapon for the fatherland.
And Speedwagon apparently has consumed literally any amount of science fiction media ever that has existed since the beginning of science fiction, and says, that's a stupid idea. Please do not do that. That will immediately backfire. They don't listen, and it immediately backfires.
Who could have foreseen this outcome? Only the person who told us about it.
Look, Michael Crichton hasn't even written anything yet, and I know that this is some Jurassic Park BS. No.
It's such a parade of bad ideas. They start putting the stone mask on prisoners to make vampires. They make a point of letting the Pillar Man out of his stone encasement. Stroheim names him Sanviento, I think for reasons, but it's kind of hard to follow the guy's logic.
I think it's supposed to be Santana, but Jojo's relationship with
Names.
just names.
Yeah, we get some interstitial stuff of
Joseph being lost in Mexico.
There's a whole plot cul-de-sac there. To be fair, it is how he knows where to go, so that he can show up when the plot happens.
Because he's riding his motorcycle through Mexico. He drinks out of a horse trough, gets assaulted by some banditos, who I feel okay calling them banditos, because, man, those people are just walking stereotypes.
Oh, yeah, they're caricatures at best.
Then he gets assaulted by a German assassin who basically tells him the point of his entire secret mission before getting exploded with a cactus.
Oh, yes.
As you do.
And the entire time I'm just going like, wait, hold on. Did he ride a motorcycle from New York City to central Mexico?
Yes.
That's insane. That's like that's multiple weeks.
The central Mexican wilderness. Because he's not on a road.
This is this is pre-World War II, so this is pre-highway. This is insanity.
It's bizarre, you might say.
This entire part we read felt like it felt like someone wrote the novelization to a fighting game. Here we are, off the boat in New York. Now I need to fight. Round 2, fight. Oh no, Jojo, you need to go to Mexico.
Joseph versus Donobang. Fight. See, my one of my favorite stupid poses in this is during the experiments where they release the vampire against Sanviento. The vampires pose in the like release tube. There's a lot of jokes to be made about people like posing up like strippers, but this guy he was feeling himself.
Yes. Delicious.
I mean, a lot of Araki's main inspirations are like particular fashion models and such, like from like particular brands. So yeah, they posed up. A lot of the most famous poses come from part 2. We'll get to the one that you know. Well, one of the two that you know.
But this is where we learn the terrible power of the Pillar Man. As the vampire goes to attack him and drink his blood, his body is absorbed into Sanviento, as if he's some sort of amoeba.
Yeah, that's a thing that JoJo's vampires can do now.
Slurp. He's absorbing his body. He's eating him.
At one point, the first page of a chapter is a whole like food chain.
See, I really like how we have the entire fight with Donobang between the Sanviento eating the vampire, and the next time we see the lab. And immediately the next thing in the lab is everyone going, I just looked away for a second. Where'd he go?
Oh no, the consequences of our actions! Who could have seen this coming? Speedwagon grumbling in the corner in his wheelchair.
Quick, we need someone to finish developing the film, because the security cameras need to have their physical film
developed, because it's the 1930s. Yeah, Major Stroheim, we have the film. Let's watch it. Ah, my God, he squeezed into the vents.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying our German engineering has developed slow motion video replay off of physical film that was going at about 22 frames per second?
Yeah.
That you realize that's stupid, right?
Sekaiichi.
We keep the German accent going for again. To our German listeners, I know we don't do this enough. We're sorry.
But that's literally what's written.
At least there aren't any werewolves.
Oh,
not
werewolves?
yet.
Where are the werewolves?
Werewolves. No, there's vampires, yeah.
The quicker we do this, it sounds more and more Swedish.
Look, the atrocities against the German people will continue as we get to Jojo attempting to infiltrate the base.
To be fair. I'm not going to justify this.
Nah. Look, this is a bad situation all the way down, and the manga is reveling in it. All he can do is laugh.
There's some meathead soldiers who are
being awful. They look like monsters too.
Who are sexually assaulting women who are trying to get into the base to do their job in the name of security checks. And that is when Joseph shows up in a dress with, I think, some like actual watermelons on his chest, or maybe that's just his pecs. I don't know. They're huge.
No. Wait, it's the
push-up bra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a plot point. That was a critical plot point.
Oh my gosh, that was a whoosh. I apologize. Yes, but anyway, wouldn't you like to watch? I guess cross-dressing JoJo just carrying tequila at you? That'd be gorgeous.
Look, I'm just saying this scene combined with the chapter cover we get in a couple of chapters that is some lovely pastel pinks and blues.
Mm-hmm.
JoJo is saying trans rights loud and clear.
I'm just saying.
I love.
Gotta respect it.
Me too. I love how Joseph's all posing up like, I brought lots of tequila. Can I go in?
Where's my strip search? He literally says, "Where's my strip search?" I mean, like, it doesn't work, and they mock him for it. But one of my favorite moments is where, at the end of it, JoJo's like, "Oh, they saw through my disguise. Actually hurts my ego a little bit. I'm just gonna take this uniform and go in."
They thought I was an ugly woman. My self-confidence, ow.
and like I'm sitting here like, boy, this happened in the wrong era. If that happened today, there'd probably be a lot of people who would be super into it. Don't worry, JoJo.
You don't understand. In the future, people will respect muscle women.
Tequila, who's mad at that?
I know, right?
Tequila, muscle women, potentially watermelons that can be crushed.
Yes.
Everything One Punch Man gives you.
It's exactly what the people want.
Yes.
What we get next is Sanviento in the vents. He eats a guy.
When is he not eating a guy?
The body horror continues as he goes full carrion. He rips out a soldier's eyes and then proceeds to slurp into the man's entire body through the eyes.
Yeah, there's a reason. He just likes to be gross.
Mm-hmm.
So this is done out of the sake of cruelty, pretty overtly. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, then the Nazis complaining about being transgressed upon is sort of that juxtaposition wasn't done on accident.
Who knows? Well, this is a line that comes up later, but Joseph's like, who knows? Maybe he's actually a nice guy. He slaughtered my men. Yeah, and you're Nazis. Shut up.
I mean, like, the best part is he doesn't even pull the Nazi card in that line of dialogue. He's like, you trapped him, experimented on him, and then shot him. What did you think he was gonna do? Yeah, a lot of the soldiers get either obliterated or devoured. They were trying to determine the intelligence of Sanviento because they know he's been in the pillar for at least a few thousand years. So, like, is he a cave person? Is he intelligent? Can he communicate with us? And Stroheim is consistently underestimating Sanviento's intelligence. Oh, look, he must be incredibly stupid. He's pointing his finger at us like a finger gun. That must mean he's only imitating what we're doing. We are obviously superior. And then bullets start flying out of his hand. It's at this point where one air quotes, one of the German soldiers pulls Speedwagon aside, tells him to keep his head down. And then obviously it's Jojo.
I don't need help from a Nazi like you. Wait a minute. That brash personality, could it be Jojo?
Hey, Stroheim, I need some of your hair.
I love that. He just rips a huge chunk out of Stroheim's head.
He had a bald spot for a couple of panels.
Actually, wait a minute. This is Jojo. I should be very clear when I say ripped a chunk of hair out of his head. He did not rip an actual piece of Stroheim's skull out, though I do not put it past this manga for him to do that.
Yeah.
And somehow, with the power of Hamon, Jojo is able to take this hair and make a bulletproof barrier.
I believe it.
That's another thing Hamon can do. Add it to the list.
You're getting no arguments from me at this point with Hamon.
And people say Hamon would have run out of ideas eventually. I don't believe that.
Yeah. Me neither.
But
it's now at this point that the battle between the grandson of Jonathan Jostar, and the progenitor of the vampires can begin. This fated battle, 50 or 2,000 years in the making.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about, Jojo, it is your destiny to do this thing. To which Jojo responds, you have told me about half of the things I need to know, and also, who are you again?
I'm literally just here to get my family friend out of this alive. I don't care about any of this destiny crap.
Yeah, this is also where we get the bit of Jojo being like, yeah, I don't want to fight this guy. I'm not going to if I don't have to. And for all I know, he could be friendly. You guys shot him before he attacked you, so that's probably why he did that. Which, to be fair, is true, but he's also evil, so that devolves quickly.
But also, Joseph did not see Sanviento very brutally devour a vampire, which can probably tell you a lot.
I mean, that is another case where he got attacked first, but it is one of those ones where it's like, technically, yes, Jojo, you don't know that he's evil, but the sheer amount of violence.
You can assume.
The sheer amount of violence, though, to be fair, Jojo is also pretty violent himself, so probably a glass houses moment.
Yes.
See, one of my favorite parts is the continued just body horror that is the entire existence of the Pillar Men. Jojo goes to trip him because he's Bugs Bunny.
Oh my god, he is.
Well, you see, bones are just a social construct.
Yes. Sanviento's ankle just kind of schlorps around Jojo's leg. And he's like, Nani?
That felt really weird. What is going on? Oh, that is the power of Hamon.
No, that's the power of the Pillar Men. It was the power of Hamon that prevented Jojo from getting dissolved. Hey, don't ignore me. I'm going to attack you from behind. My ribs are actually knives. I'm sorry, what? And also steel crushing pincer blades.
That was kind of awesome. I was like, yes.
It's so gross.
I don't know. There's something about rib blades that are really, really captivating.
They are cool. I'm not gonna argue with on that. They're super cool. It's just also really disturbing to see them okay, so they come out of Sanviento's skin, kind of like Wolverine's claws. Except they are obviously bent backwards. So that implies that internally, inside his incredibly sculpted torso, his bones reversed and with no deformation of his body, and then
came out.
Which is just a level of dedication to aesthetics that I appreciate so much about the Pillar Men. They are the most stylishly evil motherfuckers in the universe, and they will look good at every opportunity. However, that was not enough to defeat Jojo, because with the power of his Hamon, he is able to survive this attack. Mostly just because it reflects off of off of the evil super vampire pillar powers. So
Yeah, he gets repulsed off like two magnets with the same pole,
and so Sanviento poses like
like a runway model.
Like a runway model, yeah.
Because that was probably a runway model pose.
Delicious.
It is a very good shot. His ass looks great in those stolen pants, but like, unfortunately, Joseph, despite all his bravado and natural talent in the ways of Hamon, is untrained. We haven't pointed that out. He just naturally has the Hamon breathing because he's
a savant. He's just naturally talented, has never actually, worked on any technique or anything. I'm just good. Why can't everyone else just be good?
Exactly.
Get up to my level. Yeah, we actually, it's sort of interesting. We get the flashback scene of the plane hijacking, which is something that I knew was a thing that happened, but I don't think it's in the anime. So actually getting to read that was pretty cool.
It's also the beginning of the long-running gag of every time Joseph Jostar is in a plane, that plane will crash. That is a fundamental fact of the universe, which makes the fact that Joseph's aspiration is to become a pilot even funnier.
I do like that. I think that's kind of cute.
It's very cute.
That his dad was a pilot, so he wants to be a pilot. That's one of those humanizing, because again, his satire has gotten really hard into this is stupid and absurd. Isn't it wacky how this is what manga is like half the time? But at the same time, there is that humanizing element of you really feel for Joseph Joestar as a person, because I mean he has his caricature moments, but he does have those moments of humanity that make you endeared to him.
Yeah, he's just a silly little guy.
He's not a little guy.
No,
he's a silly big guy. Because everyone in the series is an absolute unit.
He's just shy of 2 meters tall.
And he's short compared to a lot of characters.
Yeah, but he continues his Bugs Bunny routine against Sanviento. The fight, I love his maneuver where he's like, if I can't punch you to deliver Hamon, I will stab you with this knife. What? Your knife, your body bent like rubber around the knife so the blade didn't penetrate. I will now kick you in the eyes. Wait, your eyes did the same thing? No!
He gets smacked into a wall and is seemingly knocked out.
I love the line from Stroheim where he's like, I would applaud this young man on his athleticism if he wasn't getting his ass beat so bad.
That's only barely paraphrased. Again, this is...
His pockets are being run.
But yeah, with Jojo unconscious, he can't do the Hamon breathing.
So no, he's being absorbed into the Pillar Man. However, will he escape this dire situation? It's too late. Stroheim must detonate the entire lab with the self-destruct button that, of course, they have.
Wait, don't do that. I worked so hard for this plan.
What? Joseph, you're alive? Yes, I allowed myself to be captured, so now I am inside of his body, oh my. And now, Hamon!
As if that subtext wasn't just text.
Oh, that's great. I love Joseph so much.
And that does seem to do quite a lot of damage to Sanviento.
But much like Strizo, it is not enough. The body begins to reconstitute. So we have to now go up the world's longest staircase.
In slow motion.
I mean, it is 20 meters underground, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not like they have an elevator or anything, right?
Hey guys, you remember in the Hellsing episode where
yes,
where one of the Valentine brothers tried to climb up the stairs to escape Alucard? It's
oh my god, you fool!
It's that, but in reverse.
Because they're dragging the antagonist up the stairs. Unfortunately, it's far enough because Joseph isn't trained
in the Hamon breathing.
The exhaustion of going up 20 meters worth of stairs, and also
all the fighting,
having to hold on for dear life and avoid being completely absorbed.
Yeah. Though now that I think about it, 20 meters worth of stairs, and there's a bend in it.
Mhm.
But Speedwagon's at the bottom and he can see everything that's going on the top.
You're thinking too hard, Jacob.
Yes, I know. I just realized that, but like...
Speedwagon has omniscience for the purpose of dramatically recounting what's going on.
Believe it
You're
or
not
not, Araki doesn't seem to care much about staging a scene.
God, okay. I want to preface this by saying I love the paneling in this manga so much. It is so weird and wacky, and the famous posing is only more extreme and crazy in the manga when Araki can just go crazy. But holy crap, the positioning is nonsensical.
The other thing I think that's worth noting is it's done on purpose. Like this is done for, for the joke.
Like sometimes I have trouble following where people are in action scenes in manga. Araki says, you don't need to worry about that.
They are wherever the plot says they are.
They are exactly where they need to be for this story to continue. And I can just shut the part of my brain that's trying to understand three-dimensional space off.
We get a bit with Stroheim.
Stroheim with his masterful leap. Man's jumps like 5 meters over Sanviento and Joseph to land at the top of the stairs. And he's like, all we need to do is open this door to let the sunlight in, right? Well, allow me, Stroheim, to open the door, and oh no, he's going into my leg!
You, Englishman, you must cut off my leg!
I'm going to spend 3 pages whinging about this!
You don't understand. When I joined the Nazi army, I was prepared to sacrifice not 1, but 2, but even 3 legs for my country. I'm like, okay, man. Got a little bit of self-importance there. I'm sure German medical science may have come a long way, but maybe tone it down a little.
I thought the exact same thing. There are a couple of different ways to interpret that line, and I think I know which one it's going for.
Sekaiichi.
But yeah, long story short, too late. They're able to get the door open, and it's not quite enough because Sanviento is able to get into Stroheim's body.
Mm-hmm. Oh my. Through the hole in his leg.
So Stroheim's solution is, well, I have this grenade. We're going to get rid of his cover.
Yes. He's brave.
But Jojo, before this grenade goes off, I must tell you. We came to this secret base in the middle of Mexico and found this Pillar Man. Not because we had heard about him, but because there's actually more of them in Italy.
Yeah.
Go to Rome. There you will find your destiny.
There is a certain man there that Speedwagon is very familiar with. You must find this man, Jojo.
Wait, you've literally only told me half of the things that I need to know. Almost direct quote. Before Stroheim explodes.
Pretty bright guy. He'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah, he like fully explodes. And Sanviento is like, well, time to jump in this well. I am now once again completely naked.
You fool. You've clearly not spent any time under the sun because you would know that when it's plot relevant, it becomes exactly high noon, at which point the water will reflect the sunlight back at you. What?
Oh, I'm turning to stone. My masters will get you.
And that's how we defeated the Pillar Man.
The end. Part over, right, guys?
There's 3 more of these guys, aren't there?
Mad Chads.
So,
Chads keep on coming out of the woodwork, or the stonework, so they say.
okay, so I think we all need a break before we head over to Italy.
Yeah, just a little break.
Yep. We'll be back after this.
Hey, this is Matt from the OverMangaCast. I know we've had a lot of fun these times, but just wanted to be real with you guys for a second. You may have noticed on your little episode counter, we've reached 100 episodes, and I just want to sincerely thank you for listening to our inane ramblings of pretending we know what we're talking about. Because we do. We're really smart, and we know better than you.
Having the privilege of sharing our genius with all of you really has been wonderful.
So, thank you everyone for joining us for 100 episodes of the OverMangaCast, and here's to 100 more.
Where we can be sure to keep up the amazing quality and superb selectiveness of the titles we read.
Speaking of titles, normally we mention this stuff at the very end, but we love hearing feedback from you guys. We've gotten a lot of episodes from listeners, so you can send us an email at overmangacast.com.
Yeah, or drop a review on your podcaster of choice. 5 stars if you would. We really like those, but we appreciate all of them. Or you know what? Just reach out. Say hi to us on social media. It's got to be good for something nowadays. We're OverMangaCast at twitter.com.
And you can also find us on YouTube, where the episodes go up on a 2-week delay from everywhere else. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Since it's a nice 100 episode thing, tell us your favorite episode. Tell us what you want to do more of.
Thank you.
All right, now back to the show.
Back to the regularly scheduled nonsense.
Back to the regularly scheduled bizarre adventure. Welcome back to the show, folks. Where last we left our heroes, they were in Mexico. Now we are in Washington, D.C. I do not know how they got there. They just did.
Probably use Jojo's motorcycle. That can apparently teleport.
I was so confused because they said back to the secret headquarters. And for just a split second, I thought the Nazis had a secret headquarters in Washington, D.C.
But no, it is the secret headquarters of the Speedwagon Foundation, an altruistic organization created by the man himself, Speedwagon, using all of his oil money, dedicated to helping humanity through fields like medicine, pharmaceuticals, archaeology, and more. And actually, we're really just trying to learn about the stone masks.
Yeah, we don't want another Dio incident happening. So let's talk about the Dio incident that happened anyway.
You know all those millions we're making from oil money? Turns out that's just a front for mining for masks.
It is revealed that Sanviento is not actually dead. He is merely petrified by the power of the sun and the ultraviolet light inside this laboratory. However, he is still alive. We have confirmed it by having this snake get eaten by the rocks.
Oh, that's a scene that happened.
It sure is.
Poor Danger Noodle.
It got what it wanted.
But one of my favorite bits is it's like we have these ancient runes from the temple where Sanviento was found. There were 3 other masks there, and we can assume that they were not decorative. They refer to other pillar men. Quick, we must translate the runes, and it says the ultimate warriors. They shall awaken in the year 2852. We've got so much time until they awaken again. Quick, convert that from the ancient Mexican calendar to our calendar. 1938?
These idiot scientists sure do exist in this scene. That's like the 3rd time they do that bit with these people.
Not 1938, the year where nothing interesting happened.
God, the Speedwagon Foundation scientists, it is amazing how, in the name of like heroic altruism and like being one of the unalloyed good guys, Speedwagon has created a shady secret organization that's always a little bit evil.
It's almost like a drug dealer made $1 million off of oil and then hired a bunch of people who said they were scientists.
Oh my god, you're right. I didn't notice that. But that's just true.
The Speedwagon Foundation comes up several times in future parts, and they're always kind of evil, even though they're like...
not evil, they're just really shady.
I know, it's so weird. Now that we know that the Pillarmen shall awaken in the year 1938, converted from the ancient Mexican calendar, we must go to Rome, the final request of Stroheim, where we meet up with Joseph being angry about pasta.
Joseph in his natural habitat of yelling at someone and threatening violence.
What's this? Across the room, another man, a dandy-looking individual, is schmoozing this woman in a most saccharine way. Oh no!
Very loudly.
I love Joseph just like scream heckling his reaction to everything that happened.
Ugh.
Panel of schmoozing, panel of Joseph going, oh!
Well, to be fair, the character that we're about to be introduced to, Caesar Zappelli, is also absolutely, once he notices Jojo doing that, playing it up to piss him off.
And of course, because this is JoJo's and we need to have a ridiculous action scene to introduce a character that no one who isn't the main character will comment on, Joseph decides to turn some of his spaghetti into a Hamon missile, which, using his macaroni, Caesar then catches it, flips it around, and throws it back at Joseph.
Right into his wine glass.
And he sends the macaroni to so that when Joseph slurps out the spaghetti, the wine glass starts pouring the wine from the puncture holes. And that's the part where he's like, it was Hamon!
Really? What was your clue?
He couldn't figure that out from the way he just
Caught it in the first place?
it's some real monk bullshit. That's deflect missiles right there.
I would not be surprised if the JoJo's protagonists took a couple of levels in Monk.
Yeah, but they're anime protagonists, so they have like 30 levels in everything. But yes, this is him, Caesar Zappelli, grandson of Baron Zappelli.
So when did Zappelli have a son?
Well, he is Italian, and he's very charismatic. He was able to do magic with that suit. And that's your answer.
I mean, that's more of an explanation than the manga gives, to be fair, so...
He probably just snapped his fingers, went, hey, baby, and a woman instantly became pregnant.
I mean, yes. I believe it in this universe, yes. Well, yeah.
And when he died, he proceeded to tell no one about it.
Fair.
His entire backstory was, I need to avenge my father's death.
I mean, to be fair, Speedwagon did know about Caesar, so...
Mm-hmm. It's strange, because...
When did
Caesar find out? When did Caesar find out is another good question, but when did Speedwagon find out?
Off-panel,
5 minutes before I wrote this chapter. All right, I got...
Yes. Exactly.
I gotta say, the introduction of Zappelli's secret grandchild no one knew about is the point where I decided that part 2 is just a fan fiction of part 1.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Just wait until we get to part 3. Oh boy.
Just saying, at this point, you're big enough to admit that you are inspired by yourself.
Araki is based enough to do something like that, let's be honest.
The secret descendants of the main characters fight the same villain, but again, and even more cool and dangerous this time. Now on AO3.
The next big chunk of the manga is taken up by, oh boy, do Caesar and Jojo not like each other.
Not at all, because Caesar is a very refined individual, a true socialite of the great city of Rome, and very proud of his Zappelli name and the destiny that he has inherited from his grandfather. Meanwhile, this country bumpkin doesn't even barely knew about his own grandfather's destiny after all these years. How dishonorable.
Just kiss already.
They are something. It should also not be merely skipped over, but this is cut in with events happening in the underbelly of Rome, where another secret underground Nazi base has been set up, because they've just got a lot of these.
It's also not secret.
Well, yeah, because they're it's actually pointed out that Italy and Germany are allied with each other, so
They haven't signed the tripartite pact, I think. So that's in 1940.
Mm-hmm.
But conveniently, we'll only ever mention that the only two people in the Axis powers were Germany and Italy. No one else was part of the Axis powers. We'll never mention it again.
It
Nope.
won't come up.
Those dang Italians and Germans just tried to take over the world. Shame on them.
What weirdos? Who would ever do that?
No self-respecting nation would ever do that.
Yes, because deep in the underbelly of Rome, there is the other 3 pillar men in the stone, and one of them begins to wake up. Thankfully, we've got these ultraviolet lights on him, and oh no, he has shot a horn out of his head and splattered blood all over the lights.
Those weak lights can't do anything to us. What? Then...
I mean, he's just a raging unicorn.
He really do be. As
yeah, this is basically what this is. This is like really like baseline shonen stuff. This is done entirely to establish that these guys are way stronger than the last incredibly powerful enemy that was barely defeated.
These are the Giga Chads, the triumvirate.
Hey, you know how it took Goku dying to defeat Raditz? Here comes Vegeta and Nappa.
Oh, what? You had a hard time fighting San Viento? Well, don't worry. We've got these beans that can grow people who are exactly their power level.
But allow us to introduce the Pillar Men, Wamu, Isidisi, and Cars.
So for a start, important factor, this is one of those memes that you've seen, that the pose of the 3 pillar men, that's where that comes from.
Awaken my masters.
This is where the Awaken My Masters meme comes from. Other bit is, what kind of a name is ACDC? Or ECDC. This at this point, when they were attempting to localize JoJo's, what the decision seems to have been was to basically just use English versions of what their names were references to, and that worked fine. They're going to drop that idea a little bit later, and it will cause contention. But for now, you pretty much know exactly what these characters' names are referring to.
Yes, so Wamu goes and whams all of the Nazis to death.
Basically.
He turns them into a giant Capri Sun.
Now that we are finally free, we can go and find the Red Stone of Asia. Yes, the Red Stone of Asia. Indeed, the Red Stone of Asia.
We will go find the MacGuffin.
Page turn, the narration box. The Red Stone of Asia!
They really want you to know what the MacGuffin is called in this.
I'm still mystified. I don't know what their key motivation is.
Look, you don't need to worry about it. You just need to look at this panel of them all climbing up the stairs with just... Damn, they all have G-strings on, and...
Yeah, it's very sexual.
Booty. So much booty.
Well, when in Rome.
Do the Romans.
And then someone comes out of a bath and
and suddenly they're in modern day Japan.
When in Rome, you must flamboyantly pose in your chair. We didn't even mention the actual fight that Jojo and Caesar have.
Yeah, they have ostensibly it's for testing each other out, but really they're just being children and
beating each other up.
Yeah, wanting to get one up on each other.
Look, the most important part is that Jojo makes a woman eat an entire pigeon.
How does that work?
Yeah, I love how you're setting up like Caesar to be, oh, that's kind of creepy that he hypnotized a woman with a kiss to fight Jojo. And then Jojo forces that woman to eat a pigeon to shoot at Caesar's face.
Perplexing. And I'm just like, ew, those things are nasty.
How bizarre it is.
That entire chapter is just one absurdity after another, because it starts with Caesar leaping from a sitting position somehow, which allows him to get high enough to go on an entire monologue explaining his secret weapon. I actually have soap inside my clothing to create bubbles for my Hamon bubble launcher. He's very slippery at all times. He's yes.
God damn it, Sam. Oh, the energy of this manga is
Caesar sits so bisexually that he poses before he sits down. Jojo even calls him out on it. He's like, who poses like that before they sit? Because I'm also in a completely ridiculous pose.
There is the funny bit of establishing Joseph as the kind of character that he is. We're gonna play some cards because our little fight didn't really amount to anything in the end except for a bunch of bits. So we're gonna try to gamble each other penniless. And as Jojo is dealing, hey, if you're gonna deal fair, take those cards out of your sleeve. Well, what about your shoe?
See, no, Jake, you're forgetting the most important part, which is they're doing this, which implies that they have just sat down in this room. At which point Speedwagon goes, now, boys, knock it off. And Caesar, tell me, why have we been sitting in this room for 8 hours?
Oh, wait. There was one other thing that I really loved. This is going back to their actual fight, so this is backtracking a little bit. But I love when Speedwagon is, perhaps I should let them fight. It seems a bit cruel, but they are young men. They might need to, get this energy out of their system. And Caesar makes a disparaging comment. My grandfather only died because your grandfather was holding back, and immediately Speedwagon, now hang on a second. Don't you talk about my Jojo like that.
How dare you talk about my dead boyfriend like that?
That's the other fun bit where the ship Matt pointed out is just canon now.
So anyway, why have we been sitting in this room for 8 hours? Well, you see, we were waiting for my friend to bring the car around so that we could go and see the Pillar Men. Here he is now. His name is Mark. He's part of the Nazi party.
And man, does this manga put in the groundwork to make you feel the most sympathy for a Nazi you will hopefully ever feel.
He's just a guy who really, really loves his country.
As an Italian man, I speak that this Nazi is pretty okay.
Sure, Caesar.
It is one of those ones where it's like, and whether or not this comes off as intended is debatable. It's one of those ones where I don't know that JoJo's is the right avenue for this point. But like the point that they keep making is that, yeah, the Nazis are assholes,
but not all Nazis. Some people just join the Axis power and then regret it later. And they weren't bad people. And even if it's an entire nation of those people joining the Axis powers, they can be forgiven. I want to see how long this manga goes without even mentioning Imperial Japan.
I don't think it does at all.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah. But like the one that I can't help but note in particular is Stroheim, because nobody is ever okay with the fact that he's a Nazi, but they still, it's like, yeah, but he's still, like he's still a person.
We were introduced as him being some kind of masochistic, wanting to cut the tongue off of a woman after making her lick him. Like, they went out of their way to go, he's a Nazi and also a dick.
But he did one noble sacrifice.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those ones where it's like even bad people have their good point. Which again, funny that they don't mention Imperial Japan, but like that's how it's supposed to come off. But there is that interesting omission that is why I don't think it comes off quite the way.
Here's the other thing about Mark. We go through an awful lot of page time to have Caesar be like, hey, Mark, my best friend, how's your girl back home? Well, we are getting married when I return to Germany next week, yeah, with the war coming and all. We wanted to get that out of the way.
I was about to say an awful lot of page time. My man is alive for like 4 pages.
Yes, and then they immediately go to the secret underground base where they find all of the dead Nazis and also the Pillar Men there, and then Mark immediately bites it
in the most extra way imaginable.
Yes, because the Pillar Men are just Chad walking, just Sigma walking out of the room, and he happens to brush past Wamu, and Wamu absorbs an entire lateral half of Mark's body. This, amazingly, has him live
doesn't instantly kill him.
Yeah, this amazingly has him live long enough to then be cradled in Caesar's arms and beg for the sweet release of death. Man is bisected vertically.
Yeah, it would be horrifying if it wasn't so absurd that it's hard to understand exactly what's going on.
The panels in particular have do a lot of that whole forced perspective thing to show the immense difference in power. So of course the Pillar Men look to be like 20 feet tall, and so you're like, is this just some sort of like dramatic thing? And oh no, Mark is actually dead. Okay.
Yeah, and then this leads into one of the two poses you know. I don't care who you are. If you're listening to this podcast, there are at least two JoJo's poses you know, and this is one of them. As Caesar declares that he will take revenge for his friend.
Yes, Caesar is very ready to take revenge.
Very ready. Yes.
He's very ready for a lot of things. But most importantly, to take revenge for his dead friend. And so he goes to unleash his attack. Actually, we have to have more weird stuff from the Pillar Men just so they can pose ridiculously. Because as they are leaving, they're like, huh, that happened. Anyway, and one of them goes to take a step. And apparently he steps inside of Wamu's shadow, which makes Wamu immediately flip out and do a crazy contortionist kick that wounds Cars on the arm. And it's like, Wamu, what are you doing? No, stand down, AC/DC. It's fine. I should have remembered that you have that reflexive thing where you hate people stepping in your shadow, so you automatically counterattack them, Wamu. Forgive me, it has been 2,000 years.
Yeah, that was really weird. All of them apologizing like this.
What? Meanwhile, tragic death.
Yeah, they're just dudes who, eat people and stuff. God damn
also,
it.
I don't know.
Broham stuff.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but the panel of Cars just like Mr. Universe flexing to heal the wound on his arm is so funny to me. I think it's because like the arm he's flexing has grown to like twice the size of the other one. He looks asymmetrical.
It's called gains, Sam.
Yeah. Yes. Remember to post "Awaken My Masters" 5 times in this thread, so the Aztec gods of fitness will double your gains for the day.
But there's a bit of a through line of the Pillar Men are like, boy, there sure are humans here anyway, and walking away from people. And then somebody amongst that group being like, hey, don't do that. I'm going to attack you. Which is where we get Caesar attempting his
Hamon bubble launcher. At which point Wamu is like, Are these freaking bubbles? Ow, that had Hamon in it. Huh. Well, time to use my weird hair tentacles to create mini tornadoes to pop the bubbles.
Yes, this makes sense.
You don't understand. We fought the Hamon tribe to extinction 2,000 years ago when we were here last. 30 years before the birth of your lord. That's a weird distinction there.
Indeed, yeah. So anyway, that means that we are skilled in defeating Hamon users such as yourself. You think you can just look down on us like this? You killed my friend, I won't let you get away with this. Oh, it seems that things haven't changed. They still use the same lines.
Getting flashbacks to Frieza counting the number of times he's heard certain heroic lines.
Oh, the thing that I love the most about the Pillar Men is, as I said earlier, they are slaves to their aesthetic. They will look as good as possible while doing everything, and that includes just their most ridiculous poses. And it's like, could Wamu theoretically have just like whipped his hair back and forth and popped the bubbles that way? Yes. But that's not cool enough. So he has to whip his hair back and forth in such a way as to create mini tornadoes that pop the bubbles and also send out slicing air currents that will cut up Caesar's face.
With a dramatic delay, so you can have some back and forth with him first.
Don't get me started on the time it takes for attacks to land, allowing for whole pages of dialogue. We will get to the clacker volley. But yes, Caesar is now thoroughly incapacitated, so it's time for Jojo to step in and show off his special move. Balls.
Ball to the wall.
Monogrammed balls. Those some Jostar balls.
Oh yeah.
Where did he get these? Because
Don't ask.
he was still in the car with Mark when he's thinking, I need a special secret technique so I'm as cool as Caesar. When did he have time to get these balls?
Like, the thing is, even if you could justify him happening to have one monogrammed set of clacker balls, because they're monogrammed, even if you could justify him having one set, why did he have 3?
I don't know, but I love how he's doing his clacker spin up move to get ready to attack, and even Wamu is like,
Are you serious?
bro is flabbergasted. which is almost enough to have him get caught by the attack. But no, Joseph must continue to be a buffoon while he is being cool, so his attacks miss, except, hi, you fool, it was actually my plan for my attack to miss. I have now ricocheted my clacker balls against the clacker ball that I threw earlier, so that it will come back and boomerang and hit you in the head. Did you say all of that while the clacker balls were mid-flight?
Yes.
That was 3 pages ago.
How?
How do any comic book characters say the full paragraph sentences that they do in the amount of time that they're supposed to? Talking is the freest action.
It is. I love Wamu so much because he's like, oh, Moshiroi, you're the first human who's ever landed an attack on my face. So now I will battle you with honor. I will slice your wrist open just enough so that after precisely 1 minute, you will pass out from blood loss. Fight me,
Pretty
Jojo.
well. It's a blood clock.
We do not use clocks of sand, we use clocks of blood. Now I am going to twist my arms.
Really fast.
Yep. Windmills.
I love the amount of detail that goes into this explanation. He twists one arm clockwise and the other counterclockwise, and that creates a vacuum capable of ripping apart a marble pillar with its intensity. The divine sandstorm.
I definitely read the explanation for this. It did not help me understand what was going on at all.
Well, you see, by using audio acoustic cooling.
Shut up.
Just the state of JoJo's, and I just accept it.
Charging up the finishing move, Jojo is caught off guard and
He ends up holding that left arm. He's in low power mode.
it's in low battery mode. So yeah, and I gotta say, for all of the jokes and all of the like, how did the mechanics of these fights work? The thing that I can't help but notice in reading JoJo's, I think that this is present the first time I experienced this story, but it comes across more in the manga to me for some reason. Like the idea that like JoJo at this point he starts crawling away, and every time Wamu looks behind him, he plays dead.
He flops back down dead.
It did come off to me immediately that like, no, he's very specifically getting away so he can get Wamu away from Caesar and Speedwagon. Like, it was very obvious because one thing that they'd done consistently and they'd never played for, like, they've never played this aspect for a joke, is that Jojo at his heart is a good person who's going to try to protect people, even if he's going to pretend it's not what he's doing because he has that kind of ego. So I liked that bit. He and Wamu played Donkey Kong for a second. Or Donkey Kong Country for a second.
Yeah, they get into a minecart and start riding away because there's a minecart down here. I suppose you were just trying to lure me away from your friends and then blow me up with that dynamite that you had. How did you, that's my bit. How'd you do that?
Yeah, I love this because like that's not even the first part. Like the first part is, and then you were going to try to fling me off of the minecart by hitting the brake like this. And then there's the bit with the dynamite, and Jojo realizes he's doing my thing. Wait a minute. And it's like he's incensed that his bit is getting stolen. But one thing it does a really good job of, because the whole like the ultraviolet rights weren't strong enough for us because we're the real pillar men, is a very like stock and like it's poking fun at that writing mistake. But what they do here is they establish that Wamu is the same as Jojo and beating him at his own game.
Mm-hmm.
It does a really good job of actually making these guys, despite all of their goofiness, actually kind of threatening. Like they come off as powerful as they're supposed to, without there being a bit attached.
Objectively, the way that they act is ridiculous, but it's the fact that they so casually are unmaking our hero that is threatening in that regard. And thankfully for Jojo,
never kill the part of you that's cringe. Kill the part that's cringes.
Exactly. This is wisdom. And thankfully for Jojo, Wamu is one of those noble warrior types, which he picked up over the course of this battle. So he's like, yes, I am truly defeated. It's really a shame, though. If I had just 1 month of training, I could defeat you. What? Yes, you see, I'm a complete amateur. Never had a day of training in my life. This is my first real battle. And I went and scarred your face? The first man in history? I could totally kick your ass in a month. Oh, well, shame I'm dying.
Wait, what?
And Cell, you're gonna die.
Basically.
I do like how he initially is not gonna fall for this.
Uh-huh.
He's like, okay, kid, stop BSing me. Like, this isn't how this works. I know I'm better than you. I don't need to prove it. But wouldn't it be cool to prove it? It'd be really lame if a human just did some damage to you. I mean, even if I kill you in 1 month, that doesn't change that. Yeah, but wouldn't it? No, you're right, it would. Don't worry. Me and my brothers have an incredibly convoluted thing for this exact situation.
Of course you
We call it the wedding ring of death.
do. Ooh.
The other two are just like, well, no, hold on. You just call yours that because you're an idiot.
I love it. This is the dumbest thing. It's like,
I'm just saying, this is total bro energy.
well, you see, Jojo, I can't have you simply pull this and then run away. So in order to make sure that you come back, I'm going to give you this wedding ring. I have now used my freaky powers to reach inside your chest and attach it to your heart. In exactly 33 days, it will dissolve and unleash a deadly poison, the antidote for which is in my lip ring.
How convenient that the exact length of time this poison lasts is the amount of time Jojo asked for.
Yeah.
More, because he asked for a month, and this is 33 days. He got some wiggle room.
You're right. He got an extra day due to a technicality.
Yes.
And then ACDC is like, Wamu, what's taking you so long? Oh, hey, Dynamite. Oh, anyway, just complete Wile E. Coyote bullshit. He eats the dynamite, it explodes in his stomach. He's fine. Anyway.
Oh, we're doing our stupid ring game? Don't worry. I know humans' weaknesses. Their throat. I'm going to put mine on his throat.
Putting mine on his esophagus.
Wait, what?
Hey, Cars, you going to do this? No, this is incredibly dumb and a waste of our time.
By the way, the poison in mine is unique, so you need the antidote for my nose ring. Bye.
Well, I guess I'm a polygamist now.
I love that line.
That's not even a joke. That's a direct quote.
I love that line so much. Just like, ah, crap. I guess I'm a polygamist now.
And then Caesar comes over to give him a third ring.
Oh, Jojo. I love Jojo.
I just kind of literally piled in on this situation. See, they get you down, they try to make you commit.
Man, I thought Witch from Mercury had a quick turnaround time for the acquiring of fiancés.
I know, it doesn't compare to this.
It really doesn't.
It takes a whole episode in Witch from Mercury. It takes a couple of panels in JoJo's. It's true. It's hard to compete with the classics.
And Caesar is like, Jojo, your nobility is great. I must also train hard in this upcoming month so that I can beat your ass again.
Hey, maybe he's into that.
Just kiss already.
Just
Yes!
kiss already.
I'm just saying, if I was to pick one character in JoJo's to be straight, I think the character who can't go an entire page without making out with a woman probably is a safe bet.
You're probably right about that, but our version is funnier.
Anyway, that actually brings us to the end of our reading, and I got on a JoJo's episode! Woo!
Yeah, you snuck in this time.
Don't worry, we'll find a new series to exclude you from.
Aw. Anyway, now that we've come to the end of the episode, let's get down to the discussion with the seminal question: favorite character and favorite fight. God, I love Joseph so much. He's a goober. He's a gremlin. He's a goblin. He's such a little fucking idiot. I love him. We didn't even mention the fact that he'll just randomly do sing-songs in the middle of a fight. He sings about how he's working on the railroad all the livelong day while he's clacker volleying.
Oh.
Just every scene that Joseph is in is entertaining, and I love him so much. And it's for similar wacky shenanigan reasons that I gotta say Joseph vs. Strizo. Nothing compares to the opening volley of a fight literally being a volley of bullets out of a Tommy gun that just materialized behind his back. I mean, Mance is built like a refrigerator. I'm not surprised he could hide something behind his back, but still.
The ultimate Hamon technique gun.
Anyway, Jay, how about you? Favorite character, favorite fight?
This is actually pretty hard. I would have to say my favorite character. I love Joseph as much as everyone else, but my favorite character, basically, I adopted his persona from what I watched, and obviously combined this with the reading. But I would have to say Zappelli, because he has a smooth way with ladies. He's not a super crass, and I like that.
Caesar's pretty great. As
far as favorite fight, this one is really difficult. This is a lot of very interesting moments. I'd have to say the fight with Lamu. Because what is that?
How did you have the time to have an entire conversation in the span that it took for the clacker balls to fly towards
Exactly. You? Seriously. It was between that and Strizo, because, well, vampires have a soft spot. But also, I don't know. I like the Giga Chad energy. They kind of have met each other's match. The one talks a lot less than the other.
Oh, okay. Matt, how about you? Favorite character, favorite fight?
You know what? I gotta go with our boy Mark. No, I'm kidding.
Yay, Mark.
I'm glad you made that joke because it means I don't have to.
Oh,
F for the chat.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with Zappelli. He came out of nowhere. He looks way too much like Dio, but I kind of dig him for it. Yeah. Caesar Zappelli is a cool guy. And then completely out of left field, I'm not going to have his fight be my favorite fight because I actually liked Joseph with the clacker balls.
Yeah, the clacker balls are great.
Where did it come from?
Why are they monogrammed? Will they ever come back again?
Because he's a Jostar. They need to put their name on everything.
It's definitely going to be Jojo. For all of the reasons that Sam mentioned, he's a very, very charming character. But the other thing that I like is that despite the fact that he's a doofus and a goober, they also do a really, really good job of characterizing him, as I mentioned a few times, where like there is an actual like it takes itself internally seriously, like through line to his character. For all of the wacky characters in this that are like caricatures and basically living punchlines, you could tell if Jojo was being written out of character. Like he has that sort of like solidity to him that I really appreciate. And favorite fight, I'm gonna have to go with Jojo versus Sanviento, mostly because of all of the unfathomable absurdity from all of the fights, including that one. That one was the one I was most capable of following. Your mileage may vary.
Mm-hmm.
True.
At the very least, I particularly like the end bit where he played possum to get absorbed and then Hamon from the inside. That actually makes sense within the rules established up to that point. so it gets points for that all on its own.
A good choice. Okay, and I mean, well, Jake and I just said that he's our favorite character, so I think we've answered this already. So, Matt and Jay, thoughts on our new JoJo?
That is a great question.
I'm not sure. He definitely feels different, but not really. I think it's because I feel like the other Jostar was they do the exact same actions. They just shout different explaining text for why they're doing crazy poses.
Fair.
I mean, I think that's part of like their character trait, you know, for better or for worse.
What?
I mean, they're not supposed to be so different.
I'm saying functionally they aren't at all different. They just
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're both the main character. They're Jostar. I guess, and this is just my take of it. I really don't like this JoJo. I find him very, especially the manga version. The anime version obviously is different, but the manga version, I don't really find myself really identifying with his protagonist.
Mhm.
He's supposed to be the protagonist, he's supposed to be the hero, and I'm just like, you're kind of an ass. So
Yeah, Jonathan is a very love him or hate him JoJo.
but not even like a lovable ass. I'm just like, no. I think there's lovable moments, and then there's gone.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say I do prefer Jonathan over Joseph. I really like them both, but up until way later, we're not going to get to this character in a long time, but Jonathan was my favorite JoJo for a very long time, and Joseph is aesthetically different, you know, and it works for the you know, keeping things fresh. But yeah, I see what Matt's saying about him basically being the same character.
He is, but I find that the situations he creates in the Looney Tunes energy is different enough that I am it's just so charming to me. I love him.
He does have strong Bugs Bunny energy. Foibles and all.
And then the ultimate question: would you continue reading? I already did. I need to see how certain fights and certain iconic like poses go in the manga, especially nice.
Oh no, we're gonna get to that part eventually.
Eventually. Matt, how about you?
I'm a solid maybe.
Excellent. Jay, how about you?
Say probably will. While I didn't particularly enjoy this aspects of this particular segment, I feel like I'm kind of, again, I'm doing it for the culture.
For the culture.
For the culture.
And Jacob.
Yeah, I continue reading. Not for nothing, one thing that I found kind of interesting is that like the really famous like Awaken My Master's Pillarmen pose in the manga is really different. Like it's still technically the same pose, but the way that it's presented is so different. It doesn't look the same to the eye at a glance. And you know, there are other aspects of I honestly think that in a lot of ways Joseph is better characterized in the manga. At least it feels that way to me, not having seen part 2 in a long time. You know, continuing seeing like this version of it, which does it's kind of fun categorizing all of the subtle differences that have outsized impact on the presentation. So yeah, I'd continue reading.
All right. And thank you everyone once again for tuning in to the OverMangaCast, and thank you once again for 100 episodes. If you'd like to join us for the next 100, make sure to follow us on all of your social medias where we are at OverMangaCast.
We're also on YouTube where you can like, comment, and subscribe. The episodes are on a 2-week delay there, so if you want to catch up with our latest content, you can also go to overmangacast.com. That also has a feature where you can contact us and tell us what you think.
Yep. And we appreciate reviews in any and all forum, wherever you can find them. iTunes, Podcast Addict. I'm blanking on the other ones, but they exist. You can also email us overmangacast@gmail.com. Anything you want us to read, or, things you'd like us to revisit that we haven't been back to in a while,
Mm-hmm.
We're not revisiting anything next week. We are starting off our next 100 episodes with some top tier culture that I'm sure will be amazing. Wait, no, I've misread the schedule. This is something we picked because we thought the synopsis sounded funny.
Hey, you guys ever seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World? What if it was that but lesbians and backwards?
That sounds like amazing to me.
At first, you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Well, tune in next week when we find out if that is in fact good with chapters 1 through 25 of Odd Man 11. So read that if you're keeping up with the show, and we'll see you all next Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
The next thing you're going to say is, I have to watch the next episode now.
Nani?